Hey friends, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah from Pies and Pros, and we are at day 2 of Vlogmas, and this is going to be an interesting one. It is not my best work, so apologies in advance. And you know what? I actually have a list of apologies for you here. So, apology number 1 is for the potentially horrible quality of this video. It is not one of my best work, but of course with the time constraints, I hope you'll forgive me. And apology number 2, the noises. I didn't realize that the majority of the time that I was filming, my fridge makes noise, and I guess I'm used to it, so I didn't notice it, but it makes noise. So sorry for my fridge. Also, sorry for the noise outside of the window, because I had the window open, and just residual noises in general. There's just a lot of random stuff going on. So yeah, and I think those are my apologies. Just a lot of noises. Oh, and lighting. So as you can see, the lighting's not perfect here. It is 8 o'clock at night right now when I'm doing this intro. It's experimental. This whole entire no matter what time. It's just an entirely experimental video, so I hope you forgive me for what it is. I will continue to do videos after this regardless, and they will look much better, I promise. So make sure to hit the subscribe button so you can see the rest of my Vlogmas videos, and I'm just gonna take you over to today's video. Hey friends, what is up? Sorry for the weird lighting, but it is nighttime, and it's actually only like a little past 5, but I am making dinner, and yeah. So we are going to make something I've never made before. It's sort of like a nourish bowl. I've never made that as a vegan, which is shocking, but I have a bunch of leafy greens from my garden system, which I'm going to show you in a second. And there's so many that need to be harvested because it's getting wild. So I'm going to use that as part of my nourish bowl, and I'm going to be making some other things. And hopefully it's just a lot of like chop, prep, throw on a sheet pan, and then let it do its thing in the oven. Let me turn you around so you can see what I'm talking about. So we got some goodies here. This is actually like the end stuff, but we've got that was Logan. We've got crispy tofu that's going to happen. This will be crispy tofu. It's not crispy right now. That's actually in its little, what is this called? Tofu press. Yeah, so it's pressing while I prep everything. I'm going to roast some broccoli, maybe roast this butternut squash. I don't know, I'm a little scared, but we'll see. And these should all be like roasting at the same time on one sheet pan, so I'm just gonna prep and chop those stuff. And then over here, where I was just now, we have some parsley that I'm going to garnish on top, maybe chop some almonds on top as well. And then these guys are going to become a Dijon vinaigrette or dressing, if you will. And yeah, we're just gonna throw it all into a bowl, and it's gonna be a nourish bowl. So let's do this. I'm gonna start with the easiest thing, which is chopping and breaking down this broccoli. I'm so loud. Okay, that was easy. Now let's try this squash. I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. I cut the squash. Looks like mango. Smells like it too. What? Wow, look, I have the broccoli in a green bowl, and now the squash in an orange bowl. Very cool. Okay, here's my tofu. We're gonna dice it. I should also preheat the oven at 425. All we have to do now is season each of those 3, put it on the sheet pan, and then it'll all roast at the same time. don't put much other than the poultry seasoning because I just want it to be a really neutral chickeny type thing. And yeah, the poultry seasoning is vegan, so don't worry. Put it on one side so that when it's time to add the other things, I can just easily pull the tray out, add it to its designated spot. I really want this to be like a one-pan situation. I want it to be simple and just have all the work done easily. It's just the prep that's, oh my god, just the prep that's really obnoxious. There's also a weird clicking noise. That's my heat. For the squash, I'm going to keep it simple because we're doing a dressing here, so we don't need to heavily season everything. I'm just going to drizzle some olive oil, teeny pinch of salt. I use sea salt. I don't know why I sprinkled it. Whatever. And then to coat. Just want to make sure the olive oil has coated it just enough. I don't like to add too much oil. When the timer goes off, I'll just add that in. Last thing is broccoli. I usually steam my broccoli, but I guess for one pan purpose, I'm just gonna do a teensy bit of olive oil and just roast this instead. I'm gonna use my hands for this one since the bowl is so small. Now we prep the little add-ons on top. So I'm gonna do some curly parsley. I needed parsley for the holidays and I didn't have any on my garden, so I actually went out and bought this. But now that the holidays are over, I have so much that I don't know what to do with it. So just adding it wherever I can. It smells so fresh. There we go. Just a rough chop. I don't really want anything too fancy schmancy. Just for some crunch, you know? I think that's enough. Just for like a garnish on top. Crispy tofu in the oven. Yes, I have a list. Broccoli's prepped, just needs to go in. The parsley's prepped, almonds prepped, squash prepped. Now we just have the Dijon dressing and the leafy greens. I actually have a recipe for the Dijon vinaigrette or whatever we're calling it from a couple cooks. There we go. Pinterest. And I'm just going to throw everything in together, and I guess the olive oil goes in last as the emulsifier. So let's do it. Syrup. Not eyeball this because I don't want to mess up on too much vinegar. That might taste gross. Now I'm just going to mix these together first. That's good. Okay, the last thing that we need to do is harvest our lettuce or lettuces from the garden. And I've spoken about garden on my Instagram before, but I've never really shared it here on YouTube. I was gifted, and this is sponsored, didn't sponsor the video, but I am sponsored by Garden Tech on my Instagram account. And so they sent me over a garden system, and it's been about like 4 weeks exactly. And so it's time to start pruning. It's basically an indoor garden system. You can grow produce in the comfort of your home. And because I live in a small apartment, this is like so ideal. I have been waiting patiently for some of these things to grow so that I can finally use it in a meal. So I was definitely prepping for this specific recipe for a while. 4 weeks to be exact. Okay, so as you just saw, I just got a ton of greens from my garden. I think it's like easily 4 to 5 cups of greens, and I only plucked off of the edges, so whoa, super impressed. Yeah, if you want to check out Garden, you can totally check them out. I actually have a deal up until the December 14th for like $200 off a system, so I will link the info in the description for that. But look at this. I chopped it, but before it was sort of like towering over the bowl. But I did a quick chop, quick rinse, and I think I've got everything set up. So we've got the tofu in the oven, the butternut squash in the oven. I'm looking at my timer. I see that the broccoli is about to go in, and then we're gonna finish it all in the oven. We've got, that's the wind outside. We've got our chopped leafy greens. We have our toppings, which are chopped almonds and parsley, and then of course to drizzle on top, our Dijon mustard vinaigrette. I don't think I'm missing anything, and I am extremely excited to see how this comes out. Wish me luck. I'll see you at plating.